It was the "they're scarier than I am" speech. I'm Jim VandeHei, co-founder, CEO of Axios. Let's break down the president's State of the Union speech and the politics animating it by isolating on two seminal moments in it. First, you have to understand the backdrop. The president went into this speech very, very unpopular. You might like to hear that. You might hate to hear it. It just is what it is. Almost every single poll shows that 60% of Americans have an unfavorable opinion of the job that he's doing. It's much worse if you factor in independents. But the president also knows that while he's unpopular, Democrats are equally unpopular. Democrats have not done a good job of proving themselves to be an acceptable alternative to Trump. That's the mindset he went into this speech with. So now let's lock in on two moments. He wanted to prove that he is the strong and patriotic one, and that Democrats, by contrast, are weak and weird. And you saw this in the choreography from the moment he walked onto the stage until he left. The most poignant moment was where he isolated on this idea of, will you stand for U.S. citizens or will you stand for illegal immigrants?
If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
And he just taunted the Democrats. He let it hang in the air for what felt like minutes because he understood that the imagery of Democrats sitting down when he's saying, stand up if you stand for U.S. citizens, is brilliant politics if you believe that the politics of fear is what animates and motivates viewers. President Trump sees himself as a showman. And when he's on stage, he wants to be the strong, patriotic one. He was giddy when he heard that he could get the men's hockey team into the chamber.
Here with us tonight is a group of winners who just made the entire nation proud.
He was able to bring them in and just soak up that moment. He let the applause run for a while, and then he awarded right there, like he's giving out a gift on stage at some kind of show. He gives out a Presidential Medal of Freedom to the USA goalie.
It's called the highest civilian honor in our country, the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Trump went into this speech wanting to take full advantage that this is a 250th anniversary of America.
An epic milestone in American history, the 250th anniversary of our glorious American independence.
And he wanted to position himself as the savior of it, the protector of it. You might not love his techniques, but boy, you should love the results, is the way that he tried to sell it. So if you think about beginning to end, it was all about bringing characters in moments to emphasize his strength, his patriotism, and juxtapose that with what he would call Democratic weirdness and weakness. There wasn't a lot of new substantive policy proposals in the speech, but there was one moment that you need to tuck away and think about, which is he did start to lay the predicate for war with Iran.
One thing is certain, I will never allow the world's #1 sponsor of terror, which they are by far, to have a nuclear weapon. Can't let that happen.
He talked about them being a threat to us, threat to Europe, soon to have the ability to produce a missile that could reach our shores. Very reminiscent of 9/11. This speech happened just hours after Rubio and his head of the CIA met with the top leaders in Congress and made it very clear that we're moving towards a likely strike, if not a likely war in Iran. So if anything lasts way beyond the moment, and very little does with State of the Union speeches, it'll be that.